Hello and welcome to Verbling. My apologies for the little bit of a late start today. Had some technical problems. Not sure why. I couldn't get the class started, but I am here now and everything seems to be foursquare and A-OK. My name is Teacher Oakley, and in the next 55 minutes or so, we're going to be talking about discourse markers in English. Now, you will hear this type of vocabulary referred to in several different ways. Sometimes they're called signal words or signal phrases. Sometimes they're called, sometimes they're referred to as transitions. Sometimes they're called discourse markers. Sometimes they're called connectives. Either way, the idea is really the same. These are words that we use in English. Sometimes adverbs, like eventually, or adverb clauses, time clauses, like after a while, actually, or additionally, when sometimes we use these to introduce an opinion. In my opinion, from my point of view, in my perspective. Sometimes we use these to add reasons or details. Additionally, as well, first of all, second of all, thirdly. Sometimes we use these expressions to introduce a contrasting idea, such as however, on the other hand, conversely. Sometimes we're introducing a comparative idea, by comparison, similarly, and there's a great deal more. And we use these discourse markers to introduce an example. For example, for instance, such as. Also, to conclude whatever we're talking about, to summarize in conclusion. So I would have to say these kinds of phrases which are used to express and to organize, to express where you are, to introduce, I should say, what you're going to say in your next sentence, and also to keep the organization of your speaking in line so that the listener can clearly understand what you're going to say next. One of the aspects of listening skills in English, most important aspect in my humble opinion, is the idea that you're going to be actively listening, meaning you're going to be listening carefully and predicting what the speaker is going to say. This listening skill is greatly enhanced if the speaker correctly and adequately is using discourse markers to show where he is. In my opinion, well, you know he's going to express his opinion, his overall view. First of all, okay, you know he's about to say his first point, and also because he says, first of all, you understand there will be additional points to follow, because you can't have first if you only have one point. So these sort of discourse markers help the listener to predict what he's going to hear and thus help understanding. Also, we use simple connectives, conjunctions even, to show things like but, simple connectives like and, but, yet, so, to show so, it shows result, and additional information, but, contrasting information. All right, so these are connectives are another form of discourse marker. We use these in English, particularly when we really need people to understand us. In an IELTS TOEFL, TOEIC, CAE, in these kinds of exams, discourse markers are priceless. You absolutely must do this if you want to have a decent score. You must learn a variety of discourse markers and how they are used. Extremely important in TOEFL, IELTS, and any of these standardized English tests, both in your writing and your speaking. It is essential to get even a halfway decent score. Also, frankly, for all English speakers, if ever you're going to be giving a presentation, PowerPoint, or a speech to a small audience, or even a job interview, frankly, you really, it's essential that your audience understands you. When you're talking to a customer and explaining a process, trainers, if you ever train somebody, very essential that you outline the steps in a process by using discourse markers. So we're going to look at several discourse markers today by using simple fill-in-the-blank exercises, and see if we can become comfortable with the ideas and some of the actual vocabulary. Welcome to the class. Ali, hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you today?
Yes, I'm doing well.
Great. Glad to hear it. Okay, Ali, I'm going to have you work with me on doing we're going to try to choose which word in the sentence best fits the sentence. Okay.
Okay.
And I'm going to do a little screen share with you. You and whoever else happens to join us. Okay, first we're going to look at specifically comparing and contrasting. Okay, so what I would like you to do is read this big long sentence and try to figure out which of the bold words, contrast, compare, comparison, would best fit in the sentence. Now, okay, sometimes you will see that their comparison is a noun, compare is obviously a verb, so that can help you to figure out which word would most properly fit. So there's a little bit of understanding word form and sentence structure as well we're going to be doing here.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think?
I think the comparison in working condition between our Denver department and our department in Chicago is very noticeable, and employees are now demanding equality in this area. I think comparison is probably fits in this sentence.
You are correct. It has to be for grammatical reasons because it is preceded with the.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So you have an article, you need a noun. Very clear. And contrast and compare are both verbs. All right, so the comparison. All right, comparing, looking at one and the other is a comparison. Very good. Excellent. Let's try number 2.
Yeah. The two companies different considerably from each other. One sells to wholesale and one sells directly to retailers. Differ. I think differ.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
To differ. Okay. In this case, we have a subject noun. Right. We need a verb. There's no verb. Differentiate can be a verb. Different cannot. But you're correct. Differ.
What's the difference between differentiate and differ?
Yep. Good question. I was just going to say that. To differentiate between things is actually to contrast, to tell what are the differences.
Yeah.
Okay, if I'm going to differentiate between the two companies, okay, I would think about, well, these, it's similar to differ. How do they differ? Okay, in what ways are they different? Okay, it's hard to differentiate. It's hard to tell the difference.
Yeah.
Uh, they're very similar, actually. To
Yeah.
differentiate is to tell the difference. And we often use differentiate actually with a negative. It's, well, not a negative, but it's difficult to differentiate between two flavors, for example.
Yeah.
I can't tell the difference. I can't differentiate. So we often use differentiate with a negative
Yeah. Okay.
to tell the difference. And okay, all right. So they differ. That's the verb form of different. Of course, I could change the sentence and say the two companies um, are
Or
considerably different.
different.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
could use the verb ought to be are considerably different from each other.
Yeah.
All right. As often happens, if there's a noun form and a verb form, you can change the sentence structure and um, still make it make perfect sense.
Okay.
Okay.
Very good.
If I was going to use differentiate, I could say the two companies differentiated from each other in the aspect that one sells to wholesome, blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
Okay. They differentiate from each other in one way. They go a different path, you can kind of think of. Okay, try number 3.
Yes, it's often difficult to differentiate between employees who are off work because they are genuinely ill and those who are just enjoying a day at home.
Yeah, okay. Yay, thank you, Ollie. That makes me feel very good that you were able to understand and correctly pick out differentiate. You are
Yeah,
correct. You got it. All right, you understand. I'm very happy about that. Ollie, do you know what it's called when you just stay home? When you stay home from work, but you're not really sick? Do you know what that's called?
intend to be to be has a, intend pretend to be illness.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
maybe you
like
pretend to
of
be
cheating,
ill. Sorry?
like of cheating.
It's kind of like cheating, but we have a phrase for that in English. If you don't go to work or school simply because you want to go to the zoo or go to a rock concert or go to the beach, you're playing hooky. You're
Yeah,
just, we have a phrase for that. You play hooky from work. And maybe you call in sick. Yeah, and of course it is lying. You're absolutely right.
yeah.
Hmm.
But
Okay.
what phrase when you go to zoo and but you pretend you are ill?
You play hooky. I wrote it in the Verbling chat box. To
Yeah,
play hooky. So I could say I could call you and say, "Hey, Ollie, what are you doing today? I'm playing hooky from work. I just didn't feel like going to work today.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
Let's go somewhere. Let's go to the beach." All
Yeah, something
right.
of like.
Yeah. Okay. Try the next one here.
Yeah. And the fourth one, our new software program shares some common characteristics with those that are already on the market.
Very
The
good.
third one, yeah,
Indeed.
characteristics.
Uh-huh. Characters, of
Uh,
course, refers to people.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And the second one is like a verb. characterize.
Second one is definitely a verb. That's exactly correct. Characteristics is also a noun, which can be used for people, but more often is used for things. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I am pronounced correctly. Characteristics.
Well, you did the first time.
Yeah,
Not so much the second time. Characteristics.
Yeah. Yeah, very, very hard. Very
Now
long.
you're having more problems. You did it right the first time.
Yeah, I know.
Characteristics.
Characteristics.
Yeah, think about sort of separating the hard k and the T sound. Characteristics. Characteristics. That stupid hard K sound and T sound, you know, like act. 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 It's
Yeah.
It's a pain in the neck. It's it's a hard one.
Yeah, like suggesting is very hard. Suggest.
Suggest. Yeah.
Suggest. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Let's try the number 5 here.
Yeah. There is a clear distinguish between starting your own company and taking over one that already exists. I think is this a clear distinction? No, the third one, distinction.
Very good, because you have the article a. The verb is already is. When we use they, there, we transverse or transpose the verb with there and the verb to be. There is now. Now we have the subject noun, so we need a noun. A clear is an adjective. A clear distinction, so we need the noun form. Something different is a distinction. Right. Distinguish is the verb. I can't distinguish. Well, Ali, I can't distinguish how you look because your camera's kind of dark, so I can't tell. I can't figure out exactly what you look like. I'm just an example, Ali. I don't really care. It's okay. No worries. Don't worry about it. I'm just first example that came to my mind. Okay. Distinctive, you know, you have the IV ending. This is an adjective. So something is distinctive. It has a distinguishing characteristic. There's something very noticeable about it. Yeah. Okay. There's a clear distinction, difference. Here, distinction means a difference between starting your own company, etc., etc. Okay, let's move on. Number 6.
Comparing with 15 years ago, home PCs are cheaper, faster, and have much bigger memory. Comparing is proper one, I think.
It can be. Okay, actually, you're not wrong. But let me explain. Using a gerund, ing, an ing word, at the beginning of the sentence, it's certainly possible. Singing is a wonderful emotional outlet, for example. Okay, I started the sentence with singing. All right. However, I would like, it is perfectly grammatically correct to use this. However, I would say that it is more formal, certainly, and thus it is usually used in writing much more commonly than speaking. Okay?
Yeah.
You could also use compared.
Compared, yeah.
Compared with or compared to. Either one, either a preposition with or to. With compared, it would be okay with or to. Compared
It
with
could be
15 years ago, it's okay.
yeah, it could be yeah, it could be start with a verb without any noun. Can be.
Uh, well, actually, when you're using comparing, you're using it as a gerund. You're using it as a noun. It's actually being the subject noun.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, okay. Compared
Mhm.
with. In this structure, yeah,
Yeah.
it is okay. This is an okay grammatical structure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, obviously, you can turn it around, and uh, home
Yeah. May I
PCs
start? Yeah. Yeah.
are
Maybe start with us.
right. Home PCs are cheaper compared with 15 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or home PCs are cheaper, faster, and have much bigger memory compared with 15 years ago. Hmm.
I catch it.
Okay. So the subject noun is home PCs, but yes, this is okay to do this. Okay. Uh, let's look at the next one, and maybe we've got a new student, so maybe I'll have Ken try it out. Welcome to the class, Ken. Hello. Hi, Ken. Ken, are you there? Sheboygan, what's happening? Oh dear. Ken, I can see you're not muted, but I cannot hear you. So you know what to do. Do what you have to do, and I'll come back to you later. Okay, Ali, I guess it's back to you again.
Yeah.
Number 7.
The two products are different in every way. There is absolutely no no comparison between them.
Very good. You are
No.
correct.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay. They do not compare. This is tricky because of the negative. There is no. Um, yeah, they're different, so there is no comparison. All right. They are different. There is contrast, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Uh, okay. A comparison, again, is a noun. To compare is the verb. Contrast. Contrast actually can be a noun or a verb. So, yeah, you do have to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Ken, are you
Yes.
in, Ken?
I,
Yes, you
yes.
are. Hooray. Hi,
Yes.
Ken.
Hello, how are you?
Hi. I'm good. How are you? Nice to see you.
Yes, I'm fine. Nice to see you.
Okay. We're looking at some vocabulary today, particular discourse markers that kind of organize our speech. Talk specifically right now, we're talking about comparison and contrast.
Okay.
Okay. The idea is to choose the bold printed word or phrase, in this case, that best fits the sentence. So go ahead and read the whole sentence and try to figure out which word best suits the sentence.
Number 8.
Okay, well, go ahead and read the whole sentence because, in addition, of course, I can help with any pronunciation.
Okay. Our latest mobile phones, similar to alike, resemble those of our main competitor, except that they have more features and are more reliable.
Okay, so which is correct?
Main competitor. Phones similar to alike, resemble.
Indeed,
Resemble those.
because
Yeah.
definitely similar or even similar to, and alike are adjectives. Resemble is the verb that you need.
Yeah.
Resemble is
Maybe it's similar to is alike. Maybe we need be verb.
right. You could say, in fact, right. You could say is alike. Well, okay. Actually, no. You would have to reconstruct it.
Yeah.
Are alike, right? Our mobile phones and those of our main competitor are alike.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. You could also add the verb to be to use the other adjective similar.
Mm-hmm.
Our latest mobile phones are similar to those of our main competitor. So alike is a little tricky because you have to mention both things. Okay, flan and custard are alike. Are very much alike. They're very similar desserts, for example. So you have to mention the two things before you use that adjective. Okay. Ali, let's try number 9 here.
Yeah. There are several similarities, similar to between our new vocabulary and our old one. These include an advanced color versatility and multitask option. I think there are several similarities.
Has to be, yeah, because several is plural.
Yeah.
This is our only possible plural answer. This word is often tricky for second language learners because really there are two pronunciations. Similar, where the first syllable is like a short I sound, similar, or the second I, I'm sorry, is a short I sound, similar. Or sometimes you will hear some people pronounce it with like a U sound, similar. It sounds like yeah, similar. Okay, either is actually correct, and it totally depends on where you're from. I think Brits say it different than Americans, but many Americans say it different from each other as well.
Yeah.
So you can hear similar or similar. Either one is okay. Obviously, similar meaning alike. Hello, Max.
Hello.
Welcome to the class. Howdy.
A little bit late, sorry.
It's okay, it's not a problem. I don't mind. Anytime any students want to join the class, doesn't matter to me. You want to join with 30 seconds left, okay. Doesn't bother me at all. Welcome to the class. We're looking at discourse markers. Actually, Max, you should have been here 30 minutes ago. Because I know you're preparing for an IELTS test, and these are very important and good things, very useful for IELTS. Okay. Discourse markers, of course, tie together sentences or phrases inside a sentence. We're specifically looking at comparison and contrast vocabulary. So the idea is to go ahead and read the sentence out loud and try to choose the phrase or word in bold print that best fits the sentence structure. Okay, so Max, go ahead, number 10.
Serious computer hackers can access your personal files and destroy or alter them. In the same, just as they can gain access to your internet banking facility and steal your money.
Okay, just as, okay, frankly?
No, in the same way. Maybe.
No, just as. No, in the same way.
Yeah,
no, just as. Ah! Actually, both of those would work.
Okay.
Just as they can gain access, yes. Okay, they both mean the same thing, and they're both. You can use both of them, either one, for this purpose, to introduce an idea that is that works exactly the same way. It's actually to introduce an analogy, all right, something that works the same way. Okay. And frankly, you could actually hear exactly in the same way that. So sometimes we use exactly as part of the phrase. Exactly in the same way that they can gain access, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Okay. Very good. All right. Going back to you, Ken, number 11.
Okay, the quality of our product is excellent. Likewise, likeness, the price. Likewise, the price.
Likewise, the price. Okay, just the same. Likewise, the the price. Okay, alike is a little different. We talk about two things being alike, then they are similar. These two things are very much alike. They're very similar. The new Toyota and the new Subaru are very much alike. Likewise, it's just like saying similarly as a discourse marker. All right, similarly, the price. Likeness is totally different. Doesn't really belong with discourse markers. If your likeness to a degree, how much you. All right, if I paint a picture of your likeness, I'm painting a picture that's supposed to look like you. All right, your likeness is what you look like, actually. Doesn't really belong in discourse markers. Well, maybe specialized. Okay, Ali, number 12.
The TOEFL exam cover a variety of general English tasks. In Connoisseur 2, although, by the way of Connoisseur, the TOEFL focus more on business and professional issues. I think that in Connoisseur 2.
In contrast to. In contrast to.
In contrast to.
Okay. Yeah, in contrast to. Okay, so you're introducing the idea of a difference, contrast. In contrast to the TOEIC. Oh, in contrast, to the TOEIC. No, the problem here, we have a problem here.
By the way of construct.
Yes, we just have a small problem with sentence structure. Not that it's wrong, but we have to change the sentence structure. Yeah, you're right. By way of contrast, the TOEIC focuses more on business. Okay. Okay. You could use in contrast too, but you would need to a relative pronoun. You could say in contrast to the TOEIC, which focuses more on business. You could use a you could use a relative pronoun, which refers back to the TOEIC. Okay. All right. So it is possible to do it that way. Both constructions are obviously introducing a contrast, although it's a little different. Although is also used to show something different, or it's very specialized. It's used to introduce an idea that is different, but mostly it's the same. Okay, the new Subaru and the new Toyota are very similar, although a Toyota gets better gas mileage. Okay, so we use this word to introduce the idea that two things are similar, but here's one difference.
Yeah.
Right.
I got you.
All right. Great. Good job. All right. Max?
The company has not performed very well during the last quarter. Nevertheless, and so, however, it has still managed to turn a profit and retain most of its clients. However,
However,
it has
well,
still
okay, it's not performed well, but still it managed to turn a profit. However, it has still managed to turn a profit. Okay. Nevertheless, it has still managed to turn a profit. Okay. Even so, it has still managed to turn a profit. Max, you could not have been wrong. Any of these constructions, any of these discourse markers would work.
okay.
Okay. Even though, it's sort of an even though statement. Okay. Okay. I could also use going back to although. I could start this entire construction. Although the company has not performed very well during the last quarter, it has still managed to turn a profit, comma, after quarter, and we could make that one long sentence. Okay. To introduce a contrasting point, often which may be surprising, actually. Also, Max,
Yeah. Wrong?
pronunciation here. All right, we normally reduce the pronunciation of this word. It's such a common word, especially in business. Quarter, okay, you can say it with the K and W, quarter, but I will tell you, most English speakers reduce pronunciation, and we just say like quarter,
Quarter.
without the W sound, quarter.
Okay, quarter.
We drop the
Quarter.
W. I know. I know QU often has a KW sound like queen or quail, but we normally drop it here. Quart or quarter. Okay. Ken is gone. I think he's having a little connection issue today. So, Ali, back to you. Number 14.
Yeah, there currently seems to be larger discrimination differential between the number of people employed in service industry and those employed in the primary sector. Dis dis disparity? No.
Yeah,
No.
I would go with that one myself. But pronunciation, discrepancy.
Discrepancy.
Okay, discrepancy. Interesting word here. A discrepancy means a difference. Particularly, we use it to talk about numbers. Well, here we are between the number of people. If there's a discrepancy in your records, okay. Often we talk about discrepancy in a record. It means there's two sets of records, or there's a difference in numbers. Okay, so the numbers are different. Okay. So, and we often, by the way, we often use large or small co-located with discrepancy. It's very, very common. A discrepancy is clearly a noun. Discrimination is impossible here. That's a totally different concept. If you wouldn't say large discrimination, that doesn't make sense. Discrimination is discrimination, so you don't classify it as large or small. Discrimination means that there are separate rules or separate, possibly, definitely a negative word, possible ideas that separate people, probably negative, based on things like race, gender, religion, etc. Okay, differential is really close. A differential is very close, difficult to define, and it may actually be possible. A differential means a really strong difference. A differential is usually used to talk about causes rather than effects. Okay. The differential in incomes causes the gap between those who go to private school and those who go to public school. Okay, the difference. Okay, but often we use it to talk about cause rather than effect. And okay, discrepancy, I think, works best here. Okay, Max, number 15.
Our new contract states that both parties must give 6 months notice of termination. Our old contract had an immediate get-out clause. I'm not sure. Maybe unlike. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I muted myself. Sorry. You could use unlike, but you would need to throw in a relative pronoun. Unlike our old contract, which had an immediate get out clause. You don't need to throw in any extra vocabulary if you use whereas. Definitely introducing a difference, a contrast, a strong difference. Okay. All right. Well, actually, maybe a difference that is. Well, for example, going back to my example I keep going back to here, Toyota and the Subaru. All right. They're both wonderful automobiles. However, the Toyota gets better gas mileage, whereas the Subaru has more high torque power. Okay, they're both good, but this one's good for this reason, and this one's good for another reason. Okay, so two totally different ideas, really. All right, a get-out clause, 6 months notice. Those are quite different. Okay. Let's try a different type of thing here. We're gonna multiple guess. Oh, I'm sorry. I mean multiple choice. Which discourse marker fits? We're now gonna change a little bit. We're talking about joining ideas together. Ken, number 1 here.
Oops. Oh my gosh.
Are you all right? I can hear you.
Really? You can hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I couldn't unmute my mic. Okay. Visitors to another country should respect the local environment. They should respect the local custom. Countries should respect local environment. Therefore, likewise, likewise.
Sure, and you had a 75% chance of being correct because actually, likewise, similarly, or in the same way, all would fit. They all are interchangeable as a discourse marker here.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, well, meaning similarly. Okay, Ali, next, number 2. Ali, are you there?
Yeah, sorry.
No problem.
Bring much needed money to developing countries to provide employment for the local population. I think that in addition to bring, beside,
Uh,
it's all of
yeah.
them can fit. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, very good. I'm trying to trick you guys a little bit. There's more than one possible
Besides,
answer.
yeah.
Besides
Besides
works,
bringing,
as well as, in addition to, as well as. The
yeah, I
only one
think
that
that,
doesn't work here is B, in the same way.
yeah,
Uh,
I
okay.
think besides bringing much needed money
Actual
is the
answers A, C, and D are all equally viable, equally correct. All right.
yeah.
All of them work. All right, so here's a transition or a discourse marker. You can learn all of these. I also want to add that those who are preparing for IELTS or TOEIC or TOEFL or whatever, knowing that you having different ones that you can use at different points in the test, especially in also TOEFL, all of these tests. Knowing not just don't pick one of these and use it all the time. All right, don't get in the habit of using only one. If you want to have very good English, not just test takers, but everyone, try to develop several different, 3 or 4 discourse markers for certain situations. This will greatly improve your speaking and writing skills in English. So, okay, this exercise is useful because we can see how many of them can function as the same way. Max, number 3.
Okay, tourism brings much needed money to developing countries. Furthermore, it provides employment for the local population.
Sure. What else works?
Moreover,
What else works? Really, this
further,
exercise.
just further, without more. Further, it provides employment.
Further.
Not
Further.
further.
Sure. Also, in addition.
addition.
In
Yeah.
addition.
Thank you. Very good. Yeah, the only one that doesn't work is along with. So as you can tell, actually, this exercise we're looking for the one that doesn't work. 3 of them work. Yeah, you can say furthermore, moreover, in addition. All of these, we're just adding more information. Simple enough. So it is along with, but we need a different.
Which doesn't work.
Yeah, which doesn't work, we should say. Even along with, but we use a completely different sentence structure. Something like, okay, along with bringing much needed money to developing countries, tourism provides employment for the local politicians. Politicians. Sorry, that's probably true, but I meant population. All right. It also is kind of used to give an additional point, but notice it's at the beginning of the construction. All right, Ken, number 4.
Okay. The company lost a large share of its market to competitor blank. It had to close down 2 of its factories.
Ooh.
Because of cannot work.
No.
Yeah, because
Almost.
of and no and now, not a sentence.
Right. Because of doesn't work, but actually, this is another trick. 2 of them work. 2 of them do not work.
Okay. Another one. Consequently, likewise. Likewise is a bit different meaning.
Yes, it is. It's like similarly, it had to close down. How is closing down similar to losing share? So that doesn't make sense. Right. The 2 correct possibilities are consequently and as a result, to obviously introduce consequence or results. Obviously, either one of those can do that job. Okay, Ali, number 5. Oops,
Yeah.
let me
The,
give you your options here. Okay, go ahead.
yeah.
Sorry.
The action in the movie was terrible. The story was boring and the sound quality was very poor. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. I think, though, and correspondingly, uh, so so
So works. Uh-huh.
so work, yeah,
Yes.
and correspondingly, in a brief, I think is working.
Yes, so in brief, correspondingly, yeah, okay. Correspondingly meaning that what I'm about to say matches what I just said. Okay. In brief means, okay, to summarize. So means as a result. So this exercise is a little strange because your discourse markers is actually doing something slightly different. As a result,
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. So, in brief, to summarize, I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. Okay. Correspondingly, okay, okay, okay. Correspondingly, it corresponds. It matches to my last statement. All right, but all of those would fit. In the same way, it does not fit.
No, no.
Okay. Good job. Max, I think we may only have time for one more here.
When we made the loss for the 3rd year in a row, 200 factory workers lost their jobs. I think its work along this half the sales department,
Yeah.
similarly together.
Well, because there's no comma, the only one that fits this exact construction is along with.
Okay.
If you had a comma and created another clause in the sentence, similarly, half the sales department also lost their jobs. I think you would have to also half the sales department lost their jobs. I think you would have to create another clause and you would have to change the structure.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, hopefully you gentlemen and anyone watching have learned some valuable discourse markers that you can use. And I strongly urge you and everyone else out there learning English to really make a special effort to learn about discourse markers and learn a variety of them that can be used for the same purpose. Thank you, gentlemen. I have to go because I have to start another verbling class here.
Thank you.
So,
Bye for
thank
now.
you very much.
Thank you very much.
See you again soon. Bye.
See you.